Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. We're pretty much like halfway through the regular season. It is flying by on the prep football scene. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins. And Claudia, this season, it's going by fast. We had the first open division rankings or big school rankings coming out this past week, and we're seeing how things shape up. But I feel like the season just started. It's crazy.
No, it really does feel that way. And I think I felt that way when the Awatuki Bowl happened, because usually that happens at the end of the year. And so that totally threw me off. I was like, wait, is it November? What's going on? What month is it? But it has absolutely flown by and it's been so much fun to watch. And yeah, those rankings, very entertaining.
Yeah, a
Definitely
lot.
cool to look at.
Absolutely. We got so much to get to. And Coop is here as well for quick
Always.
picks. Always here, bringing us a big smile. And of course, I know Claudia, you'll get into it, smiling because he's in first place again.
Yeah, not much has changed, especially because last week we were also totally on the same page, making the same picks. And Bruce, I don't know if you recall, but we almost gave you a chance to flip your pick for the Horizon and Higley game. And if we would have let you do that, you would have taken a more significant lead. So I'm glad that we didn't let that fly, because we would have been letting you take a way ahead first place lead. But right now you're 13-5. Spurge, you're 12-6, and I'm 10-8, and a lot of that is because we've agreed a lot. So let's try not to agree today. Can we agree to disagree, please? That would
We'll
be
see.
nice.
We'll see how these games play out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I say we get right into it. Let's start with Pinnacle at Chaparral, and Bruce, I'll let you start first.
Wow. Hey, I'm excited because anytime you start getting into region play, things get a little juicier, a little more exciting. And that's what we have a Northeast Valley region matchup between these two teams. And let me just say, I mean, when you look at what Pinnacle has in terms of some D1 players in Deuce and Elijah, I know both are committed, I believe, to USC. And then you look over at Chaparral. I mean, Brent Barnes. I mean, they have some really tough losses over there, but they did manage to win a real squeaker against a good Queen Creek team last week. But you know what? I'm going to take the road team here. Give me Dana Lupke and his Pinnacle Pioneers. I just think they just have a few more weapons offensively that will be tough for the Firebirds to deal with. So I like Pinnacle 33, Chaparral 28.
All right, Spurs, let's see if we're agreeing or disagreeing today.
I think in this game, we're going to see a lot of offensive firepower. You obviously mentioned Deuce Robinson and Miles Libman and Elijah Page on the offensive line. I think Wyatt Horton, their sophomore quarterback, has really burst onto the scene this season. He's a guy that we're going to see eventually get a lot of Power 5 offers down the road. He seems like he's going to be able to sling it. And Chaparral, too, they have the leading receiver in the state right now in 6A. And so they're really firing on all cylinders on offense. But no disagreement yet with you, Coop. I do think right now Pinnacle, they've been that team the last couple of years with a bunch of talent, and they've just not been able to find a way to win close games against other good teams. This year, Liberty game aside, because right now Liberty is arguably the best team in the state. The computer says they are the best team in the state in the open division rankings. I do think Pinnacle is in a really good spot right now as an open division team that'll be somewhere in that 5-8 range. And so give me Pinnacle in this one. I'm going to say 35-30.
All right, close game. You guys are agreeing, and it's going to be an agreement across the board. You guys talked a lot about the Pinnacle offense. I do want to highlight the defense, because my research shows me that in the last game they had an interception, safety, 6 sacks, and they shut out Valley Vista. So they've got the offense and they've got the defense. And I think with that, we're going to agree. But I do think it will be a close game. That's nothing against the Firebirds, but I think it'll be around 33-29. So we'll see if we're going to disagree here on this next game. It's Mountain Point at Corona del Sol. And Spurge, I'll let you start.
I have been going back and forth on this one right now. I'm not putting too much weight on the rankings. It's early and there's a lot of movers and shakers. Corona del Sol right now would be the number 1 seed in 6A based on how many teams are in the open at this point, and Mountain Point kind of there in the middle of the pack. But I do think their strength of schedule has been pretty difficult so far, and it hasn't been a cakewalk for Corona either. But we're going to get a special treat in this game. Quarterback battle, Chris Arvizo, Connor Ackerley, two of the best gunslingers in the state, really coming into their own this season. I'm very excited. I still, as I'm saying this, can't quite come up with the pick here. But I do think at this point, Corona del Sol is just in a slightly better spot defensively and with the weapons on the outside on offense. And it's a very, very slim margin, like I think a 1A, 1B type situation. But give me Corona del Sol. Let's take 29-27.
I am going to go next. And I think it's really funny that you specifically said that these quarterbacks were coming into their own. I wish you could see my notes. That is word for word what I wrote down, which is why we're co-hosts, because we think the exact same way. But I do want to emphasize that specifically with Connor Ackerley, because he kind of had I don't want to say a slower start, but for a lack of a better word that's coming to mind, I'm going to say he had a slower start, kind of feeling comfortable in the quarterback position, whereas Chris Arvizo kind of just has that like natural quarterback, like leader mentality. He's got swag, he's comfortable, he is loud and vocal. And I know that's something that in the past his past coach and current coach has said that Connor's got to kind of step up and kind of show more of that leadership, which in a previous Bleacher Talk preseason show, that's something that we were talking about was, okay, like, let's be vocal. And I think that progression is showing, and it's showing in the results on the field. Oh man, I don't want to agree with you because I'm afraid that Coop is going to do the same thing. And this is where I'm going to get the edge. Wow. Okay. I was going to pick Corona, but I'm just going to go Mountain Point because I feel like I'm behind and I'm really on the fence here. So we're going to go Mountain Point. Bruce, please pick Corona del Sol. And then,
you know what? I thought you were going to go Corona del Sol.
Me too.
And you know what? I clearly like Mountain Point better. I like the Pride better in this game. And I think one of the big momentum riders for them will be that just blowout win over DV in the Tukey Bowl. I mean, you talked about Chris Arvizo. I mean, it just they have athletes on that side of the ball, a lot of speed, and I just think that Eric Lauer and the boys are putting it together at the right time. So give me Mountain Point over Jake Burrow and Corona del Sol. I like Mountain Point to win this one 28-24.
Like I said, I was on the fence. I was kind of hoping you would agree with Spurge just to give me the advantage. But, picking with Bruce seems like the right call with him in the lead right now. So I'm going to go with
One at a time.
Hey, well, the last matchup is ALA Gilbert North at Snowflake. This is a game I'm particularly excited about because I'll be making the trip up for the game. So I'll get to see Snowflake in action. So with that, I'll take the lead on this game. This is their Snowflake's first season in 4A. They're absolutely dominating 4A, and their only loss is to Cactus, which we know how successful Cactus was last season. And in those rankings, they're number 1 in 4A. So they have the most potential to go on and win a 4A state championship in their first season, which is incredible. The thing that stands out to me about this game, it's going to be a competitive game, and I think it's really going to show the talent on both teams. I feel like it's going to be pretty evenly matched, and maybe the most evenly matched matchup that Snowflake has seen or will see this season. What I did learn since I'll be going up to the game is that they're getting a lot of media attention this Friday. It's not just going to be me up there from what I'm hearing. The media is flocking to Snowflake, maybe because they're like me and also got sick of the heat and they were like, oh, it's October and it's still cold or it's still hot here. I'm going to go get some cold weather. But I think that there's something about small town football getting attention that they deserve. And we've talked to Kay Solomon in the past, and he said that the crowd really does impact the way the team plays. So if they're getting the media attention and this is the game that people are going to, I think that's actually going to give them an edge, which is really, not like an analytical perspective, but I think sometimes these external forces really give those guys like the extra push to succeed. And so I'm going to take Snowflake in this game, and I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring, medium scoring. We'll say 40-31. Bruce, I'll let you go.
Well, I look at it more as a matchup of defense versus offense, and clearly the home team, Snowflake Lobos, they have the better defense here, but there's something about that ALA Gilbert North quarterback, Adam DeMonte. I mean, there's just something a little special about him. You know, I know they lost to Queen Creek, 5A team, very good team, and uh, and they actually led that game at halftime. And so I just like what he brings at the quarterback position. Even though, look, I know over there up in the White Mountain area that those folks love their football. They will pack the stadium. They'll bring a lot of energy there. But I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to take ALA Gilbert North to knock off the hometown Snowflake Lobos in a relatively low scoring kind of a game. Give me ALA Gilbert North 20, Snowflake 14.
All right. High scoring, low scoring, but we're disagreeing, which honestly for me, I'll take that. So Spurge, what are you going with here?
I really like both your cases. You both swayed me in different ways. This was another game where coming in, I felt pretty solid with my pick. And so I think I'm going to just have to listen to my gut now because both the things you guys said are so important. And I do think Snowflake has built a dynasty that transcends like being in 3A, winning those titles in 3A. I think it is something that translates to 4A in what looks like is going to be an even more competitive 4A this year, by the way, too, because it doesn't seem like after some adjustments that any of the 4A teams are going to make the open division at this point. And so I do think Snowflake is still arguably the team to beat in 4A. And I like Adam DeMonte at ALA Gilbert North. Like you said, Coop, can't quite put your finger on it, but the way he plays, he just is a gamer. He gets the job done. He's very mobile. He can make all the right throws, make the right reads. But I do think at the end of the day, Snowflake's defense is just a little too stout for ALA Gilbert North. Give me Snowflake 24, ALA Gilbert North 21.
I didn't know where you were going to go there until you actually said it. I thought you were picking ALA Gilbert North, but I'll take it. Bruce, you know, I love you, man, but I'm hoping we take you down a little bit.
Hey, man, we're different. So, hey, let's see how the dominoes fall. Let's see how they fall.
That's what we do every week. Well, stick with us when we come back on Bleacher Talk. We'll be at Notre Dame College Prep. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Jordan Spurgeon, and we've got Cooper and Ben out at Notre Dame Prep. We're talking all things Saints football. But for starters, I want to know what the motto for your team is this season.
Why not us? Coach Smith says it a lot. Everyone underestimated us, and look at us now. We got a great record and great team, and we're looking to go all the way.
Yeah, and doubling down off that, I mean, it's your bye week now, but you're coming off a big victory, triple overtime against Desert Mountain. Does that feed into kind of everybody counting out? I know a lot of people in this media space have considered them maybe one of the favorites in 5A, and you guys prove you belong right there, right?
Yeah, I think it was a huge statement game for us. A lot of people didn't count us in that game, so I think we came out and just did what we needed to do to win.
So, Coach, you guys are coming off a big win, triple overtime against Desert Mountain. You were named the Arizona Cardinals Coach of the Week as well. Now you guys are in a bye week. I mean, how have you kind of just been taking this in as well as kind of getting on to the next thing?
Well, it came in at a good time. I mean, obviously, it's a long haul of a season, and to have the 6 games and played a lot of great teams heading into it. Bye week's perfect time for us to get back, relax in terms of healing up, and then take a lot of mental reps, learn from the film, and then perfect some things that we need to work on in order to get the long haul of the season. I mean, essentially, hopefully this is the halfway point of the season. So.
As a captain, what kind of leadership skills are you trying to instill on the younger folk like Cooper over here?
Just lead by example. Just let your plane do the talk. You don't need to be talking on the field to the other team or anything like that. Just lead by example.
I want to ask too, just as you've gotten to know some of these guys over the last few years, or even some of your newer players, who are some of the guys you notice that seem to have the most fun? Like just on the field, maybe off the field. Like who are some of the guys?
Maybe
you see
too much fun
always having
sometimes.
a little too much fun.
Actually, as a team, I think they all have fun, right? They're out there, you hear them in the locker room dancing, listening to music, me telling them to turn it down, sound old, but and then just on the bus rides home, the locker room preparing for the games, and biggest thing that I tell them, the thing that I value most is just being with them, right, and hanging out, and just not wanting the season to end. So, that's the thing that I tell them that I fear the most and why I want it to continue.
Does that include you getting down to some of the music with them too?
Secretly, I like some of their music, but I really don't tell them that.
So who would you trust on the aux for, pregame or in the locker room?
I'd probably trust Ben. Yeah, I would probably trust Ben only because he knows I got certain rules. So he makes sure they'll get away with one and I'll just look and then he's like, all right, we'll turn it off.
Play by the rules.
Yeah.
Nice. That's smart. On the team, who do you think has the best overall style?
Honestly, I hate to say it, but JJ Francis, he was looking good against Brophy. I'm not gonna lie, so gotta give it to him.
I wasn't gonna say Tom. I was gonna say Trevor. I think Trevor's got the best rep.
How come?
I don't know. He's always looking good. He's always got the towels. He's got the armbands. He's got the leg sleeves. He's got everything.
Who's got the best dance moves on the team?
That's me.
That's you? Oh, that means you have to do it. You're on the spot right now. Give us your best celebration dance move. All right. When you leave the camera, you can dance off.
So it looks like you took it off for the camera, but I saw you rocking the bucket hat during practice. Is that sort of a daily thing for you? Or is it only make an appearance sometimes?
No, that's a daily thing. It's hot out here. I don't want to get skin cancer, so.
Is it the same one all the time?
Actually, I'm superstitious. I've had that for like 6 years, so everyone keeps telling me to get a new one. I told them no. So.
Yeah, your cleaning routine?
No, I know that's disgusting, but no, I don't.
What's one thing about Coach that you guys know because you get to see him pretty much every day that maybe the outside doesn't really know about him?
He loves to chew on ice chips. He chews on ice chips all the time. He's always got a little cup of ice, and he's always chewing ice chips.
I think that's linked to iron deficiency, so we might need to look into that. But kind of circling back to stuff on the field, who are some of the guys that you guys have been impressed with on the team so far this season?
On the defensive side of the ball, of course, Ben, Tommy, and Ty. They're really the leaders on the defense, and when we need to stop in a big game like DM, we got it. So, yeah.
Well, we heard some of your guys just shout out a couple of players that are kind of sticking out. But for you as a coach, who's kind of had a breakthrough season this year?
I mean, I think as a team, we've just had a breakthrough. When it comes down to it, at the beginning of the year, when we were playing Horizon, I don't think anyone gave us a chance. Boys came out and believed in one another, and then, the following weeks, I don't really think a lot of people thought we were going to be able to beat Brophy or Desert Mountain, and then that's okay. We like playing that underdog role, but, one thing about us is we're not going to underestimate any team, and we know that on any given Friday, someone's going to win, and everyone's going to always give us their best shot, so we have to be prepared for that.
I guess we'll go on the best dance moves. Do you agree that Cooper's got the best on the team?
He's pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good dance moves.
Are your dance moves better?
Absolutely not.
I think that's all we got, so now we got to let Cooper go ahead and dance his way off the camera.
Stage
and that'll
is
wrap
yours.
that up.
All right, a little gritty off the. Oh my God.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins. We've got Jordan Spurgeon, and of course, the man, the myth, the legend is back for what segment is it?
Social Spotlight, but you already knew that.
Never
That's
forget.
Right. That's right. We have a lot of excitement all over the place, especially around Arizona high school football lately. We're talking about college as well. Most recently, Bash's quarterback Damon Williams Jr. coming out with his top 10, and yes, U of A and ASU are in his top 10. Pretty impressive, you guys, in my opinion, with how much it's come along for those programs, namely for Coach Fish and Coach Iguano doing some good work recruiting around the state. We saw that most recently in ASU's big win over number 21 Washington with Trenton Bourget and Isaiah Glass and Ben Bray, just a whole bunch of local talent. I don't know. What do y'all think? Is it a little bit underrated? I feel like it's a little bit underrated, the local talent here in Arizona.
Well, getting a guy like Damon Williams to have ASU and U of A in his top 10, there wasn't a quarterback in the nation doing that a couple years ago, let alone one in their backyard. I mean, people forget, too. He was the #1 quarterback in Arizona for the class of 2024 until Dylan Raiola decided to move back and go to Chandler. But he's still the #4 player in that class in Arizona and a top 50 player as well in the nation. So that's a big get for just being in the top 10. Just shows you where those programs are at. And if he decides to go to either one of those schools, it'll be remarkable for other program.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how maybe Iguano changes, not just his perspective on ASU, but all of Arizona high school football recruits. It's, we're starting to see more of that. We're seeing it here at Notre Dame Prep. I mean, we saw Cooper Perry get his very first offer from ASU. So we're seeing that kind of develop. But yes, you asked if Arizona high school football was underrated. Yes, yes, yes. Everyone I've talked to, even out of state that's in the recruiting realm, is like, yeah, Arizona is slept on. And I'm going to call it a power nap because I think people are starting to wake up. They are.
Okay. And you know what? They better be, because we're seeing all over the country a ton of Arizona talent doing great things for programs everywhere else. So how about we keep getting it going and keep it going in this direction? Obviously, very exciting. We already mentioned last week, I know in that social spotlight, that there were a lot of Arizona high school players and student athletes at Arizona State's practice, and I think we're just going to see more and more on that. It's good to see Iguano, doing good on his promise when he first got into
exceeding.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You know what? That is fair to say. Very much exceeding it. Now, another thing that we may or may not see within the next couple of years is the Thunderbird Titans getting a new field. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to go too far into that. But what they did do this year is surprise their seniors and their program with a painted logo on the grass. They still have that natural grass there. And I'll tell you guys, it was perfect and beautiful. And honestly, such a fun surprise for everyone involved. A lot of the parents didn't know. Some of the coaching staff didn't even know. So you got to love that.
Did you get to see first reactions to this?
Yes, I did see that, and I also like to see the face of the person doing the surprising, because it's always like their hard work that is also paying off. So that was very nice to see. They didn't get the win, but still, the field looked great, and that leads me to this. What are some of your favorite Arizona high school football fields that y'all have been to?
Oh man, there's so many, and I feel like we've noticed Mesa School District and Tempe School District kind of up the ante on their high school football fields. Gosh, there's so many.
Desert Vista to me was really nice.
I do like
I went there
Desert
for the
Vista.
first time in the 2020 AIA State Championships because they weren't able to play them at Sundell Stadium that year. Desert Vista was awesome.
I kind of like Corona del Sol. Oh yeah, Skyline's good. Corona del Sol, I don't know. There's something about the colors, and it's just when sunset hits, right? I've been there quite a few times for sunset. Oh, that orange on the field looks beautiful. So lots of good ones.
I will say also Marcos Denitza with their new field also very nice. I was impressed with that. And maybe outside of the field, but ALA Queen Creek, that fan section, that student section, the bunker for the Patriots, that was very impressive as well.
Yeah, 100%. We've got a lot of good options in Arizona.
Yeah, well, that's all I got. It's a little bit of a quick one, but some big hits in this social spotlight.
Thanks, Eliav. Thank you all for watching Bleacher Talk, and we will see you next week.